Hello, this is Amanda from the Vancouver Mall Library. I have a question for you. When you look outside your window, what sorts of living things do you see? Today, we're going to make a journal that we can use to record the living things that we see outside our window. You can put whatever you want in your journal. You can put squirrels in it, you can put rabbits in it, fish, if you see fish outside your window, bugs, plants, whatever you like. I'm going to make a bird journal because birds are my favorite. Now, you can use a journal that you already have. You can use a notebook. You can use a bunch of pieces of paper stapled together. You can use a sketchbook. You can use whatever you like to make your journal. But I'm going to make my own journal today because I think that's a lot of fun. To start with, you need a single piece of paper and some things to write or draw with. You can use pencils, pens, crayons. You can use markers. Today, I'm going to use some colored pencils. You may also want to use some scissors and a stapler. But the main things you need are the paper and the things to write and draw with. First, take your piece of paper and fold it in half so that the long ends touch. Just like that. Now unfold it and fold it in half again so that the short ends touch this time. Just like that. Now, unfold your piece of paper. You see that there are 4 rectangles on your piece of paper. Count them with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, fold your piece of paper again so that the long ends are touching, and you can use the fold that you already made for this. Then, fold your piece of paper so that the short edges are touching. And again, you can use the fold that you already made. Next, we're going to make a new fold by folding the paper one more time so that the short ends are touching. Just like that. Now, you've got something that looks like a journal, but I bet that we can give it a couple more pages. Go ahead and unfold your piece of paper all the way, and you see now instead of 4 rectangles, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rectangles. Fold your piece of paper in half one more time so that the short edges are touching. And you can see that the folds made a plus shape in the middle of the paper. What we're going to do next is we're going to cut from the folded edge along this center line all the way down to where it meets the line going across. Now this is a great time to practice with scissors, but if you don't have any scissors handy, or if you just don't want to use scissors, you can also tear with your fingers. Are you ready? We're going to cut again from the folded edge down the center to where it meets the line going across, just like that. And you'll see now on the folded edge, we have these 2 pieces that aren't connected anymore. But on the unfolded edge, they are connected. And this is very important for what's coming up next. Go ahead and unfold your piece of paper all the way, and then fold it in half one more time so that the long ends are touching. Now, take the edges of your paper and push them toward the middle, and you'll see that the paper starts to make another plus sign. Flatten that plus sign, and then fold it in half one last time. Now, you have your journal. There are 8 pages in this journal, including the front and the back. At this time, you can choose to staple your journal together on the fold, but you don't have to. Now, I'm going to draw a bird that I saw the other day, and we'll see if maybe you can guess which bird I'm drawing as I draw it. Let's see. What did I notice about this bird? It was a small bird, a little round belly, had a little roundish sort of head, had gray wings, gray back, a little gray tail. You're noticing all of these different creatures outside your window. Talk about them. Try and find answers to different questions like, look like, how many are there? What sorts of things does your creature like to eat? It'd be fun to think of one different question every day and ask that question about all of the different creatures you see. I learned from an ornithologist named David Sibley. Ornithologist is a pretty big word, isn't it? Can you say it with me? Ornithologist. That means someone who studies birds. Let's see, what else did I notice about this bird? It had a lot of black and white on its head, and it made a sound that sounded like someone saying, "Here, kitty, here, kitty." It had a little dark beak and a little dark eye, and it had 2 little dark legs with little dark feet. And I saw this bird at my bird feeder eating seeds, and then another one came along and it decided that it wanted to take a dip in my bird bath. Let's see, another thing that I noticed about this bird is it had this kind of light tan color around its belly. All right, I think I'm just about done. Are you ready to see the picture of my bird? Here it is. This bird is called a black-capped chickadee. And when you look for a black-capped chickadee, you want to make sure you look for the black and white on its head and listen for the sound saying, Here, kitty. Here, kitty. Now that I've drawn my bird in my journal, I can write things about it, like what its name is, what I saw it doing, how many I saw, anything I want to write about it. I could even write a little story about it if I wanted to. Now, when you're trying to find out what sorts of creatures you're seeing outside your window, it can help to have some references, like a field guide, like some magazines. And the library has field guides that you can put on hold and pick up curbside. You can also find field guides on the Overdrive or Libby app. You can find magazines on Flipster that you can use to help identify the things you see. You can also use National Geographic, which the library also subscribes to if you have an internet connection. And another thing you could use, if you have internet connection, is a website like the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. On that website, they have a bunch of different ways to help you identify the birds you see. Because ornithology is the study of birds. Now make sure to share pictures and stories about your experience this week with our Creation Lab in the comments, or by tagging us on Instagram at FVRLibraries and Facebook at FVRL District. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.